We tend to think of conflict as, well, just an on or off switch. Either you're fighting or you're not. But it's really not that simple, is it? It's more like a spectrum with all these different temperatures and intensities. On one end, you've got that outright burning hatred, and way over on the other end, you have that subtle, unspoken tension you can just feel in a quiet room. Today, we're going to explore that whole spectrum and try to figure out where the temperature changes. So let's just start with this question right here. Take a look at these words: competition, conflict, enmity. They all describe some kind of friction between people, but man, they feel like they live in completely different worlds. So where does a friendly rivalry actually turn into something more serious? How do you know when you finally cross that line? That's the real puzzle we're going to try and unpack together. To get a handle on the full range, we've got to start at the most extreme end of the scale. We're talking pure, unfiltered hatred. And the word for that is enmity. Now pay close attention to this definition, specifically two words in there: deep and mutual. This isn't just a bad mood or, a disagreement that'll blow over. Enmity is this profound, established state of hostility. And here's the crucial part: it's a two-way street. It's a shared state of ill will that kind of locks both sides in place. And it makes any kind of resolution feel, well, almost impossible. Okay, so that's the extreme. Now let's pull all the way back to something way more common in our daily lives: competition. I mean, we see it everywhere, right? In sports, at work, even between friends. But does it always lead us down that same dark path towards enmity? Or can it actually be a good thing, a healthy, productive force? And this brings us to the real double-edged sword of competition. It can be this amazing engine for growth, but it can also be incredibly destructive. And the funny thing is, the difference between the two has almost nothing to do with the competition itself. Because here's the key, and this is absolutely critical. It all comes down to your mindset. Whether a rivalry pushes you to be better or just tears everyone down, it depends entirely on how you see it. Think about it like this. Picture two runners in a race. One sees her opponent and thinks, she's making me faster. The other one looks at the exact same opponent and thinks, I have to beat her no matter what it takes. The race is the same, but the internal experience and the outcome is going to be completely different. And right here, you can see those two paths laid out, clear as day. On the healthy side, that rivalry is fuel. It sharpens your skills, it pushes you to try harder, but at the end of the day, everybody knows, hey, it's just a game. But then you've got the unhealthy side. That's when the game stops being a game and it becomes personal. The focus shifts from playing well to just hurting the other person. And that creates that emotional distance that can curdle right back into that enmity we were talking about. So, if our perception is the real key here, how do we stop competition from turning sour? Well, it takes a very specific, and I mean a deeply human skill. It's all about what we call social awareness, or just, reading the room. This means you're paying attention to body language, the tone of someone's voice, the unspoken energy of a situation. It's knowing when a joke is landing and making people laugh versus when it's just making someone uncomfortable. Pouring maximum intensity into a dynamic that just can't handle it, that's exactly how a healthy rivalry explodes into an unhealthy conflict. It's a constant, really delicate calibration. We've talked about the loud, intense end of the spectrum, the enmity, the heated competition. But sometimes the most significant conflicts, well, they aren't loud at all. Because when you really look at the entire spectrum of human tension, you realize the most dangerous conflicts are often the silent ones. The resentment that's never spoken out loud, the apologies that are never given. It's not the shouting that signals the deepest cracks in a relationship. It's the deafening silence where conversation is supposed to be. There's a saying that just perfectly captures this. The quietest storms live in the spaces between words. It's in that little pause before an answer, the topic that's always, always avoided, that gut feeling you get that something is wrong even when everyone is smiling. Those are the storms that can cause the most damage because you just don't see them coming. So, I'll leave you with this question. After all this talk of loud and quiet conflict, maybe the most important thing to listen for is the silence. In your job, your family, your friendships, what's going unsaid?